Hello everyone, hope you're all having a lovely day today. So recently I was asked to kind of go over my whole denominational background, I guess, and I kind of realized that I've never really explained that on here before. I think I've briefly mentioned parts of it in the past, but I've never actually just sat down and be like, here's the story. It's what we're doing today. So I was actually born and raised Roman Catholic, and I don't even want to say when I say born and raised Roman Catholic, it almost makes it seem like I was really immersed in that, which kind of really wasn't the case. It was more of a cultural thing. My family went to mass every Sunday. We went every Saturday night or Sunday. We would go to Catholic mass. But my parents weren't super enforcing of it. And even the church that I attended was very loose. Most Catholic churches, at least from what I've heard from other people, tend to be a lot more serious and strict and fire and brimstone-y, whereas ours was not that at all, really. I don't know if that is a false assumption that I've been told about them being really strict, but ours certainly wasn't. I never really learned that much about sin really from that church, in all honesty. And I'm not trying to bash this church in particular. I have very fond memories. That is where I grew up. But it wasn't very like I said, my parents weren't super enforcing of the faith. And our church again was just very loose Catholic, I guess you could say. And then about my junior year, I want to say my junior year of high school, not college, I started to kind of question a lot of things, and a lot of that had to do with my sexuality, just kind of figuring out what's the deal, why is this a problem, kind of wanting to know just more about my faith, because like I said, I really didn't know that much, because I either wouldn't hear it at church or I wouldn't pay attention, and I liked going. It wasn't like I was at church oh, I don't want to be here. I actually really loved it. I loved God, I loved Jesus, I wanted to be more a part of it. I actually remember wanting to join the youth ministry they had there, and I remember they literally just told me no. They straight up were yeah, no, sorry. I don't know why. I don't know if it was because they had too many people or not. I don't know. Again, this isn't me trying to trash that organization or anything. Again, lovely people, lovely memories, but I left Catholicism, and I will explain that in a few seconds. So like I said, my junior year, I started really questioning some things. I was researching, looking stuff up, and I kind of wanted to get more into my faith. And then my freshman year of college, once I went away, I eventually got roped up in a ministry, student ministry on campus, and that ministry was connected through a church that was not Catholic. And when I first started going to that ministry, I didn't go to the church that it was affiliated with, which was Presbyterian. It was a Presbyterian ministry and church, although again, it wasn't if you're not Presbyterian, please don't come. It was very all are welcome. But it took me a while to actually go to the Presbyterian church, because actually this summer, going into my sophomore year, I was an idiot. I was very impressionable, if you know what I mean. I found a bunch of videos on YouTube. If you go down a YouTube hole, you're lost there forever. And one of the ones that I went down was people just hating specifically the church system, and saying because the church system is corrupt and blah blah blah, and they can't all be right, so because they can't all be right, that means that none of them are right. And that was that. I'm so mad that I watched all those, because then I did not go to any sort of church at all. I still went to the ministry that I was a part of, but it just totally broke my trust of any type of church, any type of denomination, any type of anything, because I was just so paranoid about what if it's the wrong one, what if it's corrupt, just insane. And again, I think it's a good idea to be aware of corrupt church systems, because yes, they do exist, but just because one is doesn't mean that all of them are. And so around my sophomore spring, yeah, literally it was a whole year until I actually went to church again, because I was just so not trusting of it because of those YouTube videos. I eventually went to the Presbyterian church that my friends were going to in ministry. They were hey, why don't you come out, just see what it's about, it's fine, just come, it's not scary, I don't know what I was expecting. I think there were a few reasons why I was hesitant. I think because one, I was scared they weren't going to like me because, again, like, obviously I had repented of my sexuality, but I'm not super, like, I'm not the most masculine person, and I was scared that they were going to, like, I don't know, like, find out and then, like, get mad at me and chase me out, which didn't happen, obviously. And two, because I was scared of, like, this, I was just still so scared of that, like, corrupt church system fear mongering, essentially. So I went to the Presbyterian Church, loved it. I felt like everything they were saying was legitimate. I, really understood everything. It was all very, it was still gospel centered, every time my biggest thing was I wanted to make sure that they said, Jesus Christ is the only reason for any type of person going to heaven. Like, it's just Jesus' finished work. And they did, they preached that. And so I was like, okay, like, we're good on the gospel. Goodbye me. And so I actually ended up going to a Presbyterian church for, I think, my entire time at college, from that moment on. I went from sophomore spring until, like, all throughout senior year when I was, when I had to evacuate early. And I'm so mad because, like, for my senior fall, I was really, really, really busy with, like, marching band and, just campus ministry and stuff like that. And, there was a lot going on at the time, and so I wasn't able to get to church as much. I know that sounds terrible, but in the spring, when I came back, my senior spring, technically it was the winter, we come back, like January, February, I was really getting back into it, and I was super hyped. I, started going a lot more, and it was awesome. And then in March, like literally not even a month later, they were like, hey, by the way, all you have to leave, so whatever. Now that I'm home, I actually have been attending an online service. It is a non-denominational church, and I actually really like it. It's my friend, she was one of the ones in one of the videos from before, but she actually attends this one church that is non-denominational. I'm not going to say it just because, again, like, I get very hesitant of, like, saying specific places because I don't want to, like, reveal people's identity and locations and stuff like that because, I don't know, privacy is important to people. And again, I'm not the one who lives near this church, it's her, so I'm just going to keep it quiet. But I do attend a non-denominational church now, I watch it online, and I really like it. Everything that they say seems to be, again, like, I've checked it with scripture, again, it's legitimate. I really like it. I've been learning a lot, and yeah, no. So in terms of my, I guess, denominational background, to answer, now that I've just given a, like, 8-minute story, I would say I would probably identify as non-denominational just because I'm going to be honest, I don't know enough about each specific one to really commit to one and be like, yep, that's the one. So I would probably say non-denominational. But I did leave Catholicism I kind of just realized I didn't really go over why. If you look up, I did a ton of research my sophomore year. Catholicism does have a lot of paganistic roots, which I'm not going to go over right now because it would take a very long time. And again, I don't want to make it seem like I'm trying to trash Catholicism, because I do have people that I really care about who are still Catholic, but for very obvious reasons, I did leave. Maybe I will make a video on that in the future, but again, like, I don't feel super confident to do that right now, if I'm being just plain honest. But if you look it up, there are very many paganistic roots in Catholicism, and that's why I left. So I'm so sorry this video was so long and a little bit all over the place. It was a lot of just me thinking and trying to remember it. But yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope this answers your question or any maybe pretenses you had regarding my denomination or anything like that. But yeah, if you ever have any comments, questions, or concerns, do not hesitate to let me know, especially regarding this, and I'll try to clear them up as best as I can. If you like this video, give it a like and hit the subscribe button. And as always, have a lovely rest of your day, and God bless.